to our second game of our doubleheader today. Our second game is Dutchess Community College Falcons against your Queensborough Community College Tigers. National Junior College Athletic Association Region 15 and Queensborough promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Negative comments, profanity, racist, sexist, or other abusive comments or actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or a team representative will not be tolerated. Queensborough thanks you for your support and your cooperation. And now the starting lineup for the Dutchess Community College Falcons. Number 13, Noah Morton. Number 24, Marquise Smith. Number 33, Carl Stanback. Number 34, James Brillia. Number 40, Lamar Langhorne. The assistant coaches for the Falcons, Ryan Dutch and Tyreek Yale. Your head coach, and a happy birthday to Mark Alfaro. Now the starting lineup for your very own Queensborough Community College Tigers. From Civil Rights High School, number 1, Patrick Brown. From Lowell High School, number 23, Jordan Chateau. From Benjamin Cardoza High School, number 33, Sven Hunt. From Benjamin Cardoza High School, number 2, Joshua Lee. And from Forest Hills High School, number 20, Eric Light. The assistant coaches for the Tigers, Alan Williams, Herman Nichols, and Terod Simpson. Head coach is Clarence Amenge.
This is QCC alum David Russell with Joe Massey. Queensborough Tigers about to take on the Dutchess Falcons. Queensborough starting 5, Patrick Brown, Joshua Lee, Eric Light, Jordan Chateau, and Sven Hunt. The Tigers are coached by Clarence Amenjo. Dutchess County Community College, the starting 5, Noah Morton, Marquise Smith, Carl Stanback, James Relia, Lamar Langhorne. And they are coached by the birthday boy, Mark Lafaro. He's hoping his team can win tonight. They have one win in the region on the year. That was their first game against Ulster. But they've played a lot of close games. Queensborough has 2 wins in the region, not playing a lot of close games. They got blown out by Nassau, then they blew out Suffolk at Suffolk, and then lost a few blowouts in CUNY. Their last game was here against Ulster, which they won by 14.
3-7 overall, and they'll have the big guy Sven Hunt jump center here.
No surprise, the Tigers win the opening tip. Eric Light, the pull-up jumper, is no good. And rebounded by Noah Morton. So Dutchess looking for the first points of the game. Good defense inside, forcing a turnover. And there's another turnover. So 30 seconds in, scoreless game.
They're playing the zone defense with the 2 big fellas, Hunt and Chateau.
And Patrick Brown with the steal. And Brown will go in for the layup. It's the man who's leading the region in points per game with 17, putting the Tigers up 2-0.
It's a nice area to lead the whole region.
It's a jumper for the tie, which is no good, and rebounded by Hunt.
Talking to assistant coach Teron Simpson for a little bit.
Eric Light makes it 4-0. Good start for the Tigers.
Teron said he would like, they would like, on the bench with Carl Amengo, they would like the Tigers to show more intensity, be more intense out on the court.
There's a 3-pointer, which is no good, and rebounded by Hunt.
Well, they're showing their share right now as they get a good start here.
Chateau spin move, shot off glass, no good, tipped, and Dutchess with the rebound. Dutchess a team that does not want to run.
Just like the ladies, they did not want to run in the first game. And
Coach Lafaro says a good game for them, the score would be in the 60s. If it gets out of hand and ends up in the 80s, that would not favor them at all. Nice pass inside, but
extra
traveling
steps, yeah.
Relia took a step too many. Two minutes in, Tigers lead 4-0. Inside to Chateau. The spin move, the little shot is good. It's 6-0 QCC.
That's the way you do it. Just the way he did it. And back into that zone again, and a timeout will be taken by Dutchess as they try to get the motor going here tonight.
Timeout called by Mark Lafaro. Today's his birthday. If the game keeps going like this, he may age 5 years by the time the game is over.
And if I sing happy birthday to him, he'll age another 5 years. So I'm not going to do it. 6-0 is the score, and you don't want to get off to that type of start in the other team's building on not exactly a warm night.
No.
Yeah.
No, certainly not. The game here, you weren't here for the men's game here last year. Dutchess came in. That was a very ugly game. There were 45 fouls committed. You know how they have those copyrights during games and it says you can't.
Yeah.
You could waive that one out for that game because nobody would want it. It was a very ugly game. Queensborough won, so there's that.
Probably show it at like 5 in the morning or something. Anyway, you know, it really, Dave, you know, it really didn't turn out to be such an awful day weather-wise as it could have been.
No, they were saying a nor'easter this week. It didn't happen, though. The weather people were wrong.
We thought
again.
Maybe we'd be trekking up here in the snow today, at least a little bit anyway.
Would you have trekked up or would you have called in sick?
I would have been here.
Okay.
I was ready for the trek. Got my boots on here.
For nothing.
And my shovel. I feel like Frosty.
Dutchess looking to get on the scoreboard. The three-pointer is no good. Hunt with the rebound.
He gets up there, Hunt. Even with his size, he gets up there.
Eric Light going baseline. Nice pass to Hunt, who is fouled.
Eric making a nice pass there. He went up, found Hunt behind him, gave him the ball, and have to like what you're seeing early on here from the Tigers. Going to their big men.
First one is good. 7-0.
Of course, remember when they had Leo Asonier here and Gregory Steele, who got them to the final one year.
7-0 Queensborough. Dutchess still looking to get on the board. Morton, a long three, is no good, and they are just hoisting them up. They don't have a lot of size.
And with the zone being played, they're not going to get inside, obviously. They have to do something, hit a few jump shots, get that zone loosened up.
They're going to have to play a game like the Westchester women played against Queensborough.
Move the ball, hit a shot, which they haven't been able to do to this point.
No. 3.5 minutes in, and Dutchess has as many points as you and I do. To 0. Chateau couldn't get the rebound. Nice box out by Langhorne.
Yeah, Langhorne just moved him back with his derriere.
Morton being guarded by Light.
You got to keep moving that ball and, find some open shots.
Stand back calls it out. Now they're down to 10, 9, 8. Making his move is Smith. Kick out. Down to 3. 2 puts it up. A tough shot is no good. There's an offensive rebound, though, by Langhorne. The jumper by Smith is no good.
They are ice cold.
7-0. Chateau lost it on the way up, got it back. Couldn't put it in off glass, tipped, and the Falcons have it. 4.5 minutes in.
I would have made it 9-0 right there, but let's see if Dutchess can steady the ship here. It's really rocking.
There's another three-pointer, and that's no good.
And their shots haven't even been close. I mean,
not a lot of ball movement either. They just kind of get it and chuck it. And Light, a blocking foul is called, and Light will go to the line for 2.
Light taking full advantage of the fact that they didn't get back after missing that shot and getting to the basket and getting knocked to the floor. It's a hard way to get to the line, but he'll take it.
And Relia, how do you like that? He gets knocked down and gets called for the foul, and then gets called to the bench.
Now, just as in the first game, the Tigers have been the more athletic team, been able to get up court, and Dutchess just treading in mud right now.
8-0 Queensborough. $9-0. Now a little pressure being put on, and traveling is called.
9-0 here in the first inning. And the Tigers will throw in from the near side. Another travel there on Dutchess is they really didn't get off the bus yet.
Hunt. Double team comes over, and there's a tie-up, and the ball will go to Dutchess. 5 minutes in, Queensborough leading 9-0.
You know what it is? They're trying to give a good present to their coach for his birthday, and they're putting a little too much pressure on themselves.
I think he would be happy with one basket at this point.
Yeah.
And there's a turnover. It's Brown who took it away. Lee back to Brown, and Brown, tough shot, no good. Chateau swooped in for the rebound and then lost the handle on it.
Missed opportunity there by the Tigers. They could have gone up by 11. Hope that don't come back to hurt them at any point.
Xavier Boyd with the ball.
Somebody's got to get hot for Dutchess. Nobody is really doing it.
I think at this point, hot means hitting one shot.
Yeah.
That goes out of bounds. It will stay with Dutchess with 18 on the shot clock.
Poked away from behind as Langhorne was looking for an opening.
Thought about the 3. They're down to 15 on the shot clock. Boyd.
What did you say, ball on the 3? Oh.
Down to 5 on the shot clock. The 3-pointer.
There you are.
Is no good.
Short. That was a good look. Just wouldn't go.
No good. Hunt the rebound, and Hunt is fouled on the way up.
Somebody with an exclamation quite imperatively there, but the rebound was gotten to, and free throws will be taken.
Wonder how many people picked that up. No points in the first 6 minutes for Dutchess.
He said, I got beat on that play.
10-0.
Is that what he said?
No.
And Hunt makes 1 of 2. He's done that twice at the line, but it's 10-0 Queensborough here in the first quarter.
And timeout taken by Mark Lafaro.
It's really the first half, but it's more like the first quarter with that score. Well, they need that timeout because where have we gone so far? And they've gone without a field goal.
Another missed 3-pointers.
Another football term there. Even if they can buy 1 free throw, they'd be happy right now. This has been a rough stretch for Dutchess, and the coach is trying to draw something out of the bag there and get them a little inspired. Anyway. What was Coach saying to you before the game?
He was saying he said right before he wants to score in the 60s.
Yeah.
Hello. Maybe the
maybe the 30s the way it's going.
And traveling is called. That's probably not what he drew up in the huddle as he shakes his head by the Gatorade cooler.
Wow. This has been as rough a half of basketball as we've seen a team
I'll
have.
pull out one of those Helmet Wire
point.
tricks, start pouring the water on the court, and get a timeout. Halt the momentum. Hunt going to the basket, and there's a nice move by Hunt. 12-0 Queensborough.
Now they're pressing. I mean,
nice fake, and the jumper is blocked.
wow.
And there's a turnover.
Good effort. There you go.
So almost 7 minutes into the game, Marquise Smith with the first points for Dutchess. And Coach LaFaro said Smith is much improved since last season. As a foul is called away from the ball.
He had a cup over there drinking the water. He said that was my best gulp of the night to this point. 12-2. It'll be thrown in from underneath. And it's not like Queensborough's knocking down the doors either. I mean,
Light misses. There's an offensive rebound. Wolves put it on the floor. Dutchess ball. 12:40 to go in the first half. 12-2 Queensborough. Facing the 2-3 zone. They reverse the ball. Over pursuing is Paul. Going inside. The low shot is good. Nice touch for Smith.
all 4 points, by the way.
Yeah.
They found something anyway. They're down by 8.
Kareem Paul. Paul going to the basket. And a foul called.
Block.
Yep, before the shot.
Number 12, Garcia.
And that's number 3 on Broby. Hunt, nice pass to Wills, and Wills puts it in off glass. It was a nice little play off the inbounds. It's 14-4.
Yeah, Queensborough needed that. I mean, because Dutchess is not scoring at all, but they haven't been filling it up either, and there's a foul going after the balls. They're pressing now.
With the intensity and also yelling when they don't get a turnover. They're upset if Dutchess even gets it across half court.
Now they're in the zone against Dutchess again after pressing. Trying to make it really tough on these guys to get anything going.
And traveling is called.
Yeah, he was cut off in the lane and took the extra step as the Tigers' Wills met him in there. So credit James Wills with the play. Although Dutchess has played a very flustered first half.
Queensborough up by 10. Hunt takes the jumper, and it's good. Nice half for Sven Hunt. He has 6 points now to go along with a few rebounds. It's 16-4 Tigers.
And if you're wondering where flustered is, it's just south of shaky. Look at that. That was a look one way, throw it the other way, but nobody was looking that way pass.
The ref was looking and he caught it, but that's why it's a turnover.
And Coach just put his index finger up on his temple as if to say, we're not doing anything well. Don't get fancy right now.
No. Queensborough up by 12. Kareem Paul. Hunt. And there's another jumper for Hunt. That one is short. Loose ball. Wills gets it. And Wills puts it in off glass, left-handed. 18-4.
Well, when there's a Wills, there's a way. I had to say that. I'm sorry.
And there's another turnover by the Falcons.
18-4, Queensborough. Queensborough has 4 players in their second season. Chateau, Lee, Light, and Shretza, who's not out there.
I remember Chateau and Light were there for the Holford year 2 years ago, and it's Chateau who hits the ground.
The Holford year. It's like a century. That was some story that year, huh? That's how good a coach Bob is, though. You know, you'll talk about the Parcells years or this one's years, but with Holford, you just say the Holford year.
Paul went up with one hand and then got it blocked. Whistle is blown.
10:20 to go in the first half. The other thing you always attach to the Holford career is the word intensity.
Yes.
And it's a matter of whether that'll last through a few seasons. And that's not a knock on Bob. It's just that's what a coach like that brings.
I never saw a coach so beaten after a loss. And not like a postseason loss, just any loss.
I've come across a few like that in the CUNY, and they were terrific, but they kind of wore out their welcome.
How would Holford be taking an 18-4 deficit like this?
And by the way, they were the nicest guys, but it's just the other people couldn't keep up with them there for a while. Here's a drive down the lane, and we have a foul, and that's going Dutchess's way.
Good job by Chateau to take the charge. First foul on Noah Morton.
I'd say the two most energetic coaches I've come in contact with in the entire CUNY are Bob Holford and a guy named Brown, who coached at Hunter, and John Jay.
And Bob DiNardo would be last. And Chateau with the dunk.
Oh!
20-4.
Fellow named Mike Brown, by the way.
There's a three-pointer. It's no good. Rebounded by Queensborough. It was Kyle Reed who came down with it. Tigers coming back the other way. Joshua Lee puts it in off glass. Queensborough putting on a clinic right now. It's 22-4.
By the way, Brown, who I talked about, who coached Hunter to a championship, he came over from Seton Hall and West Virginia as an assistant coach.
Chateau
There's a foul. Is cutting inside with the best move of the night for Dutchess right there was Morton.
The way the joke I made about DiNardo being the least, that wasn't a knock on him.
It was very low key.
Yeah. Well, not one technical foul in 35 years of coaching. That's pretty low key.
But just to finish the story about Mike Brown, he came over from West Virginia where he was assistant coaching to Gail Catlett. Pretty good coach. And when he got to the CUNY, people were saying, why did you come to the CUNY? I mean, what are you going to make, like a couple of $1,000 here? You know. And he said, I just wanted to be a head coach. And so I had the opportunity here at Hunter, and I want to do it. And then he brought in Division I players.
Yeah. Lee all the way to the basket, had his shot blocked from behind.
It's a great story, Dave. And then he coached. He won the first year he was there. He won the CUNY championship.
Loose ball, Kareem Paul picks it up, 2-on-1. Paul swoops in, and a blocking foul is called.
Blocking as they got in the way of the glide to the basket by Paul. That was Garcia getting in the way. So he won his first year there. He brought a kid in from Indiana. I think he was on the bench. He brought another kid from a junior college to mix with some of the players he already had. Then he had guys that could go over the rim. And then the second year he lost all those guys, and he made the final again, and he got disqualified because he had an ineligible player. And I think it was a guy who was on his practice squad, and he didn't register him for the tournament. So, you know, the trail was just a trail of real fire over there.
Relia going inside. The shot is sent away by Chateau. Kareem Paul left alone. The long two is no good. That would have put Queensborough up by 20. As it stands, it's 23-5.
7:46 to go in our first half. Queensborough with a rather comfortable lead here. Tough pass could not be handled there.
About 5 points in the first 12.5 minutes.
Now the most intense besides Holford, community college coach I come in contact with was Dan Nigro, who coached at Manhattan, and before that he coached at Queensborough. And he had the eye of the tiger also.
White misses. Ben Chobapond at LaGuardia last year was very intense like that.
Yeah,
He's cooled it down a bit this year, though.
Intense as a player, too.
Yeah.
But the biggest coach that coached in the CUNY, biggest in size, here's a drive, no good. Trying to hold that back was stand back. Sorry to cut you off there, David.
Blocking foul called against Dutchess. If that's on Relia, that's number 4.
A lot of running, huh?
Yeah, and Coach LaFaro wants to stay away from that. That's 4 fouls in the first half.
Anyway, David, the biggest coach in size was Hassan Duncombe.
By far.
Who had played for the University of Pennsylvania, and he was big then, too. But he was not what you would call super intense. He was just authoritative, because when you came back to the bench and you looked at him, you said, better do what Coach told me to do.
Coach LaFaro talking to the ref.
Let's say he was the Wes Unseld type.
Coach LaFaro was not happy with that foul call. Not happy that Dutchess trails 25-5 either. He was saying Relia got to that spot first, and the other guy knocked him down as there's a turnover. Saying it should have been a charge. Kyle Reed takes a 3. It's no good. There's a nice rebound. Wilkins is fouled underneath.
Good rebound by Wilkins going in to get it, and then he got fouled underneath. Now, Carl Mengo, not one of the taller players in the CUNY or big beefy guys, but certainly an intense competitor in his career. And he is the coach now here at Queensborough and trying to instill that same intensity. And so far tonight, they've been up for the task. They've gone up and down with Dutchess, and they have a big lead right now.
About 27-5. That's pretty good. If you're Queensborough, at least, not good for Dutchess. And how about 2 players on the Falcons with 4 fouls in the first half? Tony Roby has the ball. I've never seen anybody foul out in the first half, but he might do it. Here's a 3-pointer from Boyd. It's no good, going out of bounds, and Kyle Reed will let it go out of bounds. Tiger ball.
Yeah, I think they've taken about 12 outside shots, and they haven't registered one.
No.
To this point. More, maybe.
Light, back to Wilkins. It's Kyle Reed to Light, and Light, nice pass down low. Underneath, it's no good. Got his own rebound and puts it in. It's David Stewart who makes it 29-5.
Good effort by Stewart after he missed the inside. Got good position to get his rebound.
And Standback wasn't expecting the pass, and there's a foul called against Queensborough. Only their 3rd. Dutchess has already committed 10.
And a long night has become an even longer night for Dutchess to this point. Still 5:41 to go in the first half, and they have 5 points. This may go down as one of your lowest scoring first halves for a team that's come in here in recent years.
29-5, 5:20 to go in the half. Here's some nice ball movement. Boyd going inside, and he is fouled and will go to the line. These will be the first free throws of the night for Dutchess.
You know, at the end, I think Coach is going to have more candles on his birthday cake than Dutchess is going to have on the board at this rate.
Boyd is at the line and makes the first. Foul was on Eric Light. Makes both. It's 29-7. Actually, Dutchess had been to the line earlier. That was not the first trip. 29-7. Kyle Reed. A long two is no good.
Score doesn't sound right, right?
29-7.
Well, you said it. Either the Tigers they don't compete, or they blow the other team out, or.
Yeah, not a lot of close games for the Tigers. And there's a turnover. 4.5 minutes to play in the first. There's a little shot, no good. Rebounded by Reed.
Drive in the lane by Boyd, but he couldn't settle himself to get it to go. And back the other way, they pay.
Nice shot by Eric Light, who makes it 31-7.
He had a little lighter touch on that than the other one by Boyd, and that one ended up in the basket.
Garcia. Stand back, gets it back.
Now, David, the Tigers have already lost to LaGuardia this year in the CUNY.
Counted on the foul.
So they will get a rematch with LaGuardia later in the year, but they dropped one in the CUNY there. How many overall in the CUNY?
Sure, they lost to Hostos, they lost to Queensborough.
No, that's 3 already, right?
Yeah. And that was the second foul on Light. So Dutchess gets into double digits. It's 31-10. That's a football score, isn't it? .340 to go in the first half.
Manning looking... Oh, sorry.
Patrick Brown facing the 2-3.
Ooh.
Fired it inside, and it got there.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Eric Light, they're down to 10 on the shot clock. Three-pointer by Reed is no good. And rebounded by Wilkins. And there's a tie-up. It will stay with Queensborough on the alternating possession arrow.
Well, it's just one of those first halves where Queensborough can't do anything wrong. You know, even when they get sloppy, it doesn't turn out against them.
Inside.
Playing with a lot of intensity, though.
Under 3 minutes to play in the first. Bo Gregory Garcia. Sit ups and back. Shot was blocked, but the foul was before the shot.
Stand back, getting inside, and one of the few times it has worked out positively for Dutchess in the first half with those 10 points on the board.
First free throw is good. It's 31-11. .31-12. That's 5 points in a row for the Falcons.
Yeah, if you're Queensborough, you don't want to start letting up here, because we've seen teams come back before, and even when they don't look good.
Wilkins inside. Reed couldn't score. So Queensborough going a bit cold now. 2:15 to go in the half. There's a nice move, but no basket, but a foul called against Queensborough.
Yeah, last few times down, stand back, going to work and getting in that lane, making things happen. And that time the Tigers were out of position, and Broby got in there, got the rebound.
Second
and they
foul on
fouled
Kyle
him.
Reed.
They fouled him, and he'll end up at the line.
31-13. 6 points in a row for the Falcons.
Now they're going to bring Big Hunt back in the game. Try to close up that middle a little bit and stop the penetration that Dutchess has started.
31-13 after he splits the free throws. White, it's a three-pointer, and it's good. Eric Light from downtown. 34-13.
Good first half for Eric Light.
Leading all scorers with 9 points. Making the move inside, it's no good. Got his own rebound, and the shot is blocked. Sent away. It's kicked out of bounds.
Now that's why they put the big man back in, for some intimidation.
Yeah.
And because Dutchess found a little something going inside. They started to work in the middle a little bit.
White to Brown. Brown takes a three-pointer, and that's no good. And it will go out of bounds. Ball to the Falcons. 85 seconds remaining in the first.
Now, I still think if Dutchess is even to get close in this game, remotely close, they're going to have to shoot the ball from outside at some point. And they haven't hit anything from outside in this game.
Keeping it on the perimeter.
Working on it right now.
And now they go inside, and the pass is turned over. Kareem Paul kicks it outside. Light, another three. It's no good, and Hunt flew in but couldn't get a hand on it. Under a minute to play.
Boy, if you would have hit that one, that would have been a hurt shot, really. It would have had Dutchess going back to the locker room heads down.
That might happen anyway.
Yeah, but at least they have an opportunity here trying to make it work.
Counted, and the foul. It's a nice basket by Langhorne. 34-15.
Stick-to-itiveness, the word on that one for Langhorne. He would not give up on the play. And you are rewarded when you put that extra effort into it, and he was rewarded right there. So what was a 21-point game, now he's got it under 20 with that basket. A little bit at a time, Dave, because they're not knocking down any doors, the Dutchess team. Not even hitting the rim, in fact.
Oh, air ball on the free throw. Queensborough, about a 1 second difference between the game clock and the shot clock, so they can basically hold for the final shot if they choose.
That free throw set about it all for Dutchess in the first half. That one right there.
And Paul goes to the basket and puts it in. 36-15. Still 15 seconds to go for Dutchess. Actually scored 10 points in the last 5 minutes.
They need a basket right here to feel good about themselves in some respect.
And they don't get it. Hunt the rebound. And that is the end of the first half. Queensborough leading Dutchess 36-15.
Just outplayed them totally in that first half.
Queensborough doing what they're supposed to do tonight. Facing the team last place in the region. And Queensborough's not in the top 8 either. And Dutchess, I don't know what positives you take away. They're not down by 25, so there's that.
There's always hope as long as the game's not over, but to get back in this game, they're going to have to shoot the ball, and they have not shown us they can do that.
So at halftime, the Tigers lead the Falcons 36-15. Second half going to begin pretty soon, and Queensborough's up on Dutchess 36-15. Spoke to Mark LaFaro at halftime. He was just shaking his head. Said he's 45 today. I said, that's weird considering you were 37 when the game began. He said, yeah, I feel 90 right now.
Wow. I feel for him. But there's a whole half of basketball to go. Maybe his team can inch into this game a little bit.
I was going to say there's a whole half of basketball to go. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
We'll see.
Queensborough up by 21.
You think if I call this game over, I'll be wrong?
Well, if you want to see a close game, you should say it's over, because that seems to be how it goes.
Come out with a little more spring in their legs, Dutchess.
But another missed
not
three.
in the jump shot, though. And
there's Eric Light getting behind the defense. And Light has 11 points. It's 38-15.
Now remember, this was a 21 point game at the half.
And there's Light again. They pressed, and they stole the ball, and a timeout is taken by Dutchess. It's 40-15.
He can't take singing anymore. He just called a timeout.
Dutchess scores Falcons 15, Tigers 40.
And Pete on the mic tonight doing it the opposite way, saying score Dutchess 15, Tigers 40.
I guess he saved the best for last.
Tennis style.
It's good. Well, we've had like football scores and you work tennis in there. It's pretty good.
I guess Pete trying to be polite tonight because of all the meanness that his guest has received here tonight in terms of score. Queensborough with one of their best scoring games of the year. To this point, anyway.
Eric White is leading the way with the 11. It's a very even scoring chart. You have White has the 11 points. Sven Hunt has 6. Willis and Chateau have 4 apiece.
Yeah, it's been very evenly distributed. That's got to be a plus.
Yeah.
Got to be a plus.
And there's traveling called. Not what Dutchess drew up in the huddle.
By the way, did you have a chance to see that Queensborough team? How did they look?
I did not.
No.
And I don't know.
We'll see them later in the year here.
Yeah.
I tell you, they used to stack the deck with a lot of good players.
Light misses, and there's a rebound by Hunt. And Hunt misses.
But it's been several years since they've been able to really put it together over there.
Since Hassan was there. He won a few CUNY titles and a few Coach of the Year awards.
And, you know, he didn't do it right away. He had trouble winning in the finals for several years. Or even getting to the final.
Yeah. Remember, he had Pierre Narcisse. There's Lee all the way, and it's good, and it's 42-15.
That's what it looked like. They're having a good time right now.
There's a near turnover.
Continues to get worse for Dutchess. They can't handle this backcourt pressure at all right now. 6-0 run to open the second half. That's not what they wanted.
So some pressure being put on. And Chateau going for it, but Dutchess got to it first.
Come here, ball.
Queensborough with the first 6 points of the second half as a foul is called.
They're playing Khmer ball. Come back. And into the lane that time with the drive went Brabity, and he got fouled. Or Standback, who's made a few drives tonight. And has been responsible for some of their points. I say some of their points. They only have 16.
Yeah. And he has 2 now. 42-17 Queensborough. Under 18 minutes to play.
Playing a little zone here for Dutchess.
There's a long two, and it's good. Patrick Brown with the jump shot.
And Patrick Brown says, take that.
And Chateau.
Oh,
Yeah,
held him up, and then Lee came back, tried to swat it, fouled him.
Now, I'm sure if you told Dutchess before the game the leading scorer in the region is going to have 2 points at halftime, they would have been pretty happy. I guess they trailed by 21 at halftime, and there's a free throw that is airballed.
You're having trouble getting the ball to the basket, period. But that's the way it is with a team having a very tough year, as you said. Just about anything turns into a negative after a while. Chateau, he stuffed it before. He went the little easy tip, easy toss-in route there.
Some of the fans were a little disappointed because when they saw him go up, they were getting ready to go up with him. Decided not to dunk. There's a three-pointer by Smith. It's no good. Rebounded by Hunt. Queensborough can go up by 30 here. 17 minutes left. And Brown misses. Smith.
You know what's getting me? Dutchess wears the Queensborough colors, but I have not played the Queensborough game.
No. There's a little floater over Chateau. It's good. 46-20.
Yeah, Standback's been the most impressive of the Dutchess players tonight, but
There's
they
Patrick
answer right
Brown.
back, yeah.
48-20 Queensborough. There's a floater and it's good. Stand back. Clarence Semenjo was not happy with that. Doesn't want them to get lazy on defense. And there's Joshua Lee making it 50-22. Mark LaFaro does not typically like that up in fourth game. He likes a slower game.
Well, he's not going to get one at this point.
Oh, there's another basket for Standback.
No, all of a sudden, Standback's turned into Bernard King. Nice moves in the lane.
Eric Light takes a three. It's no good. Tipped. And Hunt is going to be called for the reach-in foul. Dutchess in danger of being doubled up. They've scored 24 points and they trail by 26. Standback, who as you mentioned has turned into Bernard King in the last minute. Can he do it again? No. Rebounded by Chateau. And Joshua Lee going the other way. And there's a charge called. That will be the second foul on number 2. 5 minutes into the second half, 50-24.
Bring it more contemporary terms, Dwayne Wade. We can go any way we want with it, but he got inside nicely on those few plays.
Yeah.
When Wade was at the top of his game, that's the way he was getting in there. Look at that! Oh, well, he's been about the show tonight for Dutchess.
White couldn't score. He wanted to hit that one. He has 13 points on the night.
They're just letting Standback handle the ball now, and
Might as well.
Let it be his ball game.
Well,
He gave it up that time.
2-on-1, nice bounce pass. It's Brown to Lee, but Lee misses the layup. There's Boyd in the lane, and he is fouled.
By the way, you know, just to look at the NBA for a moment, did you think that the Spurs could win that series last year when it started?
No.
That was an
Especially
amazing
in the way
run.
they did it.
That was amazing. Particularly because they had lost the year before in such heartbreaking fashion.
How about the Spurs last night beating the Knicks without Duncan or Ginobili or Parker?
I really liked the Spurs, and I have to say, if anyone beat them the year before, I was glad it was my man Allen, because I always loved Allen, even when I used to cover him at Connecticut. He was a great guy.
Yeah. So you knew him all the way back in college, was that when he was at UConn?
He was a real gentleman. Real gentleman. That's the first thing that stood out about him. But on the court, he's a killer.
The Spurs and the Celtics don't think he's that nice of a guy, or at least the Celtics.
Oh, he's not a nice guy to play against. No way.
He was a Celtic, but I meant the Celtics once he joined Miami.
He was great on the Celtics, man.
Yeah. And the Sonics and the Bucks.
Yeah.
Wherever he's been. 50-28 now.
And UConn.
Yeah, and UConn. Eventually will be a Hall of Famer. Kareem Paul, outside light to Wolves, 15 on the shot clock.
I'll tell you this, David, that is the most exciting and intense basketball you'll see when those two teams hooked up. I mean, it goes back to the old days. Really good, really good. There was the putback. And
one of those contrasting styles.
It was a nice putback by Hunt.
Yeah. 52-28. Now, if you're Dutchess, you say, we'll try to make it a 12-point game with 5 minutes to go and see what we can do from there. We're down to 5 on the shot clock. Corner 3 is no good, tipped, and rebounded by Patrick Brown.
Queensborough with the big lead and 12 minutes on the clock, just having a little fun out there, but they don't want to get too freelance. They want to run some good stuff here.
Hunt couldn't score. The tip-in is no good. Dutchess ball, 52-28.
But you know what really makes that series? It gives it the dynamic. Oh, and blocked by Queensborough.
Patrick Brown couldn't lay it in, but Kareem Paul gives the Tigers a second chance.
Is that LeBron James, although he's a great guy and most people love him, he's the type of player that you either root for or you root against. There's no in the middle. He's just that good, you know? Oh, he was. I don't know about this year. We'll see.
Cleveland's playing well. There's a near turnover that will stay with Dutchess. Last touch by a Tiger.
I have a lot of respect for the guy because he's taken a little bit of a back seat. And that's not easy to do. I mean, he's like steering a little bit.
Yeah.
The Tigers sent 2 of their guys to the bench. Hunt played an impressive game tonight. Couple of blocks, nice putbacks.
11 minutes to go, 54-28, and Standback is fouled and will go to the line for 2.
You got banged on that one. It hurt a little bit.
If you say Standback quickly, it almost sounds like Stan Albeck, doesn't it?
Yes.
Or a contracted version of Stan Albeck.
One of the fine coaches in the history of the
And you got
game.
to meet him while he wore a cowboy hat.
Unbelievable.
54-29.
Dave, just to make that story short, or any story short, sometimes you meet people and it's hard to believe they're the people that you were watching because they don't seem like that. They're just a guy standing there or... I was down in Manhattan in one of those value stores, and the guard was telling me that Sylvester Stallone came in, and he didn't know it was Sylvester Stallone. He was just talking to him about boxing. This guy in a jacket. And
how did he know it was really Stallone?
He just figured it out, eventually. Some people go low key. They don't make a big deal out of who they are, and it's quite obvious. You don't want to do that because you're gonna have people flocking around you too. So.
Queensborough up 54-30, 10:25 to go. Baseline shot is good. It's 54-32.
54-32. I'd be honest with you, they've done a good job to get to that 32.
Yeah, well, it was 29-5 to begin this game.
10 minutes to go.
Three-pointer no good.
Stand back. There he is again.
Bo Gregory Garcia for three, and it's good. And the lead is under 20. It's 54-35.
Yeah, they've gotten a little hot here, and a good outside shot.
Kareem Paul trying to answer right back. He can't. It's tipped around. Loose ball going out of bounds. It will stay with the Tigers.
I think that might have been the second outside shot they've hit in this game.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
9:30 to go. Wilkins. David Stewart now in the corner. Paul
Tigers
asking for it.
They have to move the ball, and right now they're going to call a timeout to talk about that because they've fallen into a little bit of a lull here.
Timeout is called by Queensborough with 9:19 to go. Queensborough up by 19. They were up by 24. It was 29-5. I'm trying to think if you've seen any other games that began like that. There's a game with when DiNardo was coaching here, and the Lady Tigers were up 33-4, something like that. We saw a CUNY title game that was 57-5 as a final.
Oh, that was brutal.
Not for BMCC though. That was good for them.
No, not for BMCC. No.
There's one NBA game in the '80s. The Lakers, when they had Kareem and Magic and Worthy.
I did a CUNY game where I was announcing for Lehman in college, and they went up on Brooklyn, which was in the CUNY at the time. They went up on them like 20-4 in the first 5 minutes, and then Lehman coach Norm Lefkowitz said to us, "Got this game, I think." And then all of a sudden, Brooklyn just blitzed them and took them right out of the building. The next probably about 16 minutes of the first, about 10 minutes of the first half, and the next 20 minutes.
The Lakers-Kings one I was going to reference, there was a Laker game where they scored the first 29 points of a game against the Kings. It was 40-4 after one quarter. And there's a foul called.
And Brooklyn, by the way, was playing without their best player, and they did that. So they must have been pretty good.
And Garcia throws it off of Paul. It'll be Falcons' ball. So maybe they try to get to a 12-point game with 5 minutes to go. That could happen.
Could do it. It's 19, you know.
Paul almost stole it. Under 9 minutes to go.
The coach is coaching again.
And a turnover. And there's a layup, and the lead is back to 21, just like it was at halftime. Each team has 20 points in this half. 56-35, 8:35 to go. There's a three-pointer by Boyd, which is no good, rebounded by David Stewart.
They don't even have Stand back on the court right now.
So Queensborough misses a few shots and then commits a foul. And that'll be 1-1 for Dutchess.
They fouled Brobby on that rebound.
Wilkins.
Trying to get it back under 20 here.
If Dutchess has any chance, they have to make all of their free throws.
I would think so. And more. They have to make more than their free throws. They have to get additional free throws.
56-36. This is a second Queensborough ball.
This is what you call scramble, scramble, scramble. Bang.
Three-pointer by Kevin Wilkins. It's 59-36 with 8 minutes to go.
Wilkins stepping up into that three. There's Wilkins again.
Paul had to go through his hands, and then he caught it, but was standing on the line. Dutchess ball.
Now they have stand back. Stand back. That's not easy to say.
No. Under 7.5 to go. Stewart with the block. Kareem Paul going to the basket, and he is fouled.
(59-36). One of those games that you're watching that clock tick, it starts to get a little slow right around this point.
Paul makes the first at 60-36.
And a question of how many points the Tigers can put up on the board now.
Splitting the free throws, Queensborough still leads by 24.
The one thing Pete said to me about the first game with the women, they have to hit their free throws, Dave, and he's a little concerned about that right now.
You don't win too many games by 19 when you miss that many free throws.
Yeah.
But that was an impressive second half, though, especially for Grayson.
Yeah, but he stressed. He says, you know, if we don't hit our free throws, we're not going to win anything. And we gotta hit those free throws, and they got to work on that.
It could catch up to them later in the year.
Yeah.
Or you wonder if a team that's deep and has a lot of players can afford to commit intentional fouls and keep putting girls on the line.
That team was not deep that they played.
No. Three-pointer is good by Kyle Reed. And it's 63-36. 6:30 to play. Lead is up to 27. And that hits the shot clock.
At least it hit something, right? There are a few times tonight they didn't even hit the rim. 63-36 coming down the end here at Queensborough. It's been a pleasure being here with David again tonight.
We're glad to have you. I just realized I won't see you again until 2015.
Boy, he went too far under the basket there. Did Paul, and that ball went off the bottom of the basket. First they hit the clock, then they hit the bottom of the basket. What's going on here? I won't see you till 2015. Sounds like a long ways.
It is, I guess, depending on how you look at it, right?
Over the timeline.
Some of the Queensborough fans in attendance are asking Coach Mendo to put in Sven Hunt.
And then, of course, we'll be doing our little few TV games again.
Yeah. We'll get Hostos as usual, I guess.
I got to check the schedule, but they're going to let me know. But it's got to be a couple of CUNY teams at that time of year, I would think.
I think it's going to be weird when we do the pregame talking to the coaches, and it won't be Jody King at Hostos.
Or Dr. Jody King.
Yeah, Dr. J.
As he reminded me last year when he was walking out. Is Jody doing well where he
is?
went?
He's at Mercy College now, Division II.
Always been a tough place to coach.
Yeah, Dobbs Ferry.
So they got the guy they wanted now.
Yeah, won his first few games there.
Still in the ECC, I presume. A conference that got a little bit smaller, but it is hung around.
Under 5 minutes to go here, and Queensborough leads 63-42 after that basket by Marquise Smith.
If that was made in a key part of the game, they call that the hoop du jour.
There's a jumper. It is no good. 4.5 minutes to play. This is a much faster game than the one these two teams played last year with the 45 combined fouls.
This is the point of the game where you go around saying, yeah, I score 6 points a game. I score 10 points a game. Because you add on to your total, of course. Woo! Oh, he's lucky he didn't get hurt there.
Floor hard and is called for traveling.
Good to see that he got up, Wills, because he was off balance, fell right on the square of his back there.
And we heard it from up here in the top of the bleachers.
That's a young guy because he got right back up, and you might feel that a little bit later. Might.
Would you have gotten right back up from that?
Probably about 3 years ago.
Queensborough up 63-42, 3:40 to go. And make it 65-42. It's Kyle Reed with the basket.
Yeah, I score 5 again. That's what they'll come out saying today. The big total is the one that matters, though.
And that will favor Queensborough. That's right, Joe. I'm saying it's over.
Yeah, okay.
We don't do that before the buzzer.
I think it's kind of safe.
Okay.
Do you know who they have up next?
Not sure about the men. The women are here on Tuesday against Bergen County from New Jersey.
Bergen's usually a pretty good team, aren't they?
Yeah, that should be an interesting game.
Whoa!
The lead is up to 25.
That was the play that kids used to make when they put the weights on their ankles to get off the ground. That's Stewart right there. Powerful jump right there.
Tigers by 25.
Guys don't do that anymore, by the way, right?
And there's Standback again.
I remember back in the old days, the kids used to put weights on their ankles to get extra jumping power. Now I think you run the risk of getting hurt, so.
They ran the risk of getting hurt back then too, right?
Yeah, but it was a little tougher game then too. The game has changed a little bit over the years. Not the college game as much, though.
About 2 minutes to play. Garcia hits a three. It's 67-48.
So you didn't have threes back then, so you had to really play. You really had to buy baskets. I mean, you couldn't be taken out by hot three-point shooting like you could now. It's really opened up the game.
100 seconds to go.
I can think of about 4 shots Queensborough's hit tonight that have been big ones from that three mark. Wow. Wills not showing any ill effects from before.
And Relia, that's going to be number 5 if it's on him.
Yeah, Will's hit
It is
the
not,
floor
though.
before, and he was getting up there to grab that ball there. All right, this game is over now. What do you think?
I'm going to agree with you.
Minute 26. Now, they don't have enough time, I don't think.
7 threes in 80 seconds. I don't see it, though.
Have to be done real quickly. You have to splice them together, I think.
Tell you, though, 50 points wouldn't be bad for a team that scored 5 in the first 14 minutes.
Well, they got their first 2 there, so.
69-50. 1 minute to play.
Actually, not a bad total for Dutchess at this point from the way they started.
That's why the final score does not always tell you the whole story. It's 71-50. Nice move. And a pretty quick second half, which I think everybody was hoping for, really.
I would think.
I'll stay with Dutchess. But nice win for Queensborough, and
one they should have gotten, and they did. Let's put it that way.
It counts as a win in the regional standings.
You can't lose the games you're supposed to win.
No, when
It's
you're
no
fighting
good.
for that 8th seed in the region.
And then you build a little confidence, and then maybe you grab one you shouldn't win, and then all of a sudden the season turns around, like we saw it turn around 2 years ago for them. And that really turned around.
Well, that turned around in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, they looked dead going in there.
Yeah.
So
They had a 9-hour practice the day before. That may have had something to do with the win.
just might have.
Both free throws are missed.
Now, they've got a good group of players here. It's not overly talented, but they have a little size, and they have a little ability, and they should be in the mix somewhere in the CUNY.
So Kareem Paul will dribble it out, and it's a nice win for Queensborough. They did what they had to do. They scored the first 12 points of the game.
And they have to win their home games, too.
Yeah.
That's important.
They led this one wire to wire.
They let some home games get away last year, you remember.
Well, that's it. The final score, Queensborough 71, Dutchess 50. Any final thoughts as you say goodbye to 2014?
They won their home game that they needed to win. It's a success for Queensborough, and they will work on it. They are a work in progress, folks. And sometimes, before we go, Dave, a work in progress, you never know when they're just going to turn around and become, a better team than they've been.
No. Well, thanks for joining us, Joe Massey. It was fun as always.
It has been fun, and it's always fun in college because you're always watching different players, particularly on this level.
Yeah.
Every 2 years you're watching a different group of kids.
This is QCC alum David Russell. The final score, Queensborough 71, Dutchess 50. Thanks for watching.